Good morning, everyone. So, we start our today's reading session, and we are talking about um, how it is important to make those changes. And we were reading about how different approaches are to have these changes, and sometimes it is all about our willingness, and it doesn't happen maybe because we are too much resistant to it. So, author is describing one exercise, which is again mirror exercise, and it is about exercise of willing to change. So, we have decided we are willing to change, and we will use any and all the methods that work for us. Let me describe one of the methods I use with myself and with others. So first, look into the mirror and say to yourself, I am willing to change. So basically, it starts with that willingness, your choice. Notice how you feel. If you are hesitant or resistant or just do not want to change, ask yourself why. What old belief are you holding on to? And please do not scold yourself. Just notice what it is. So exactly observe what is that belief that you are just carrying, and really are giving yourself resistance to let go. So I will bet that belief has been causing you a lot of trouble. I wonder where it came from. Do you know? So, whether we know where it came from or not, let's do something to dissolve it right now. Again, go to the mirror and look deep into your own eyes, touch your throat, and say aloud 10 times, I'm willing to release all the resistance. So, mirror work is very powerful. Whenever we look into the mirror today, most of us will say something negative to ourselves. We either criticize our looks, or maybe we say something negative. To look yourself straight in the eye and make a positive declaration about yourself is in my opinion, the quickest way to get results with affirmations. So saying affirmations is also looking straight into your eyes, saying those positive statements that will give you a lot of positivity, and of course you will be able to move forward in this journey. So now we will move on to the next chapter, which is about, now first is of course you are willing to change. But what comes next is that resistance to change, which is there from inside of us. So now how to overcome? That is this next step. And the third will come, how to change. So this resistance to change. I am in the rhythm and flow of ever-changing life. So this is the affirmation that author is going to focus in this chapter. So, awareness is the first step in healing or changing. When we have some pattern buried deeply within us, we must become aware of it in order to heal the condition. So, obviously, what is that is first important thing. What is that pattern which we are holding, or limiting belief which we are holding on? Perhaps we begin to mention the meditation, perhaps we begin to mention the condition, to complain about it, or to see it in other people. So how we recognize that pattern? So how something is the clue? I mean, how the universe even gives you a clue that, oh yes, this is the thing which is deep down inside us, and maybe we need to change. So in the beginning, you just start talking about it. Then you complain about it or see it inside someone around you. It rises to the surface of our attention in some or other way, and we begin to relate to it. We often attract either a teacher or friend or a class or workshop or a book to ourselves that begins to awaken new ways to approach the dissolving of the problem. So it is something that we will attract in our surrounding. My awakening, so this is about, again, author's example. My awakening began with a chance uh, with a chance remark of a friend who had been told about a meeting. My friend did not go, but something within me responded and I went. That little meeting was the first step on my pathway of unfoldment. I did not recognize the significance of it until, sometime later. Often, our reaction to this first stage is to think the approach is silly or that doesn't make sense. Perhaps it seems too easy or unacceptable to our thinking. We don't want to do it. Our resistance comes up very strong. So, this is the start that somewhere you will, first recognize it, or maybe you will recognize it in other people. You will attract someone, you will have some obviously kind of situations in your surrounding, but you will first strongly resist it. We may even feel angry about the thought of doing it. Such a reaction is very good if we can understand that it is the first step in our healing process. So, this is the first step. I tell people that any reaction they may feel is there to show them they are already in the process of healing, even though the total healing is not yet completed. The truth is that the process begins the moment we begin to think about making a change. So it starts with your willingness, your that one thought that yes, I am willing to change. Now, impatience is only another form of resistance. It is resistance to learning and to changing. When we demand that it to be done right now, completed at once, and then we don't give ourselves time to learn the lessons involved with the problem we had created. If you want to move to another room, you have to get up, move step by step in that direction. Just sitting in your chair and demanding that you be in the other room will not work. Simple example, obviously. So it's the same thing. We all want our problem to be over with, but we don't want to do the small things that will add up to the solutions. So obviously, just thinking about that problem will go away will not happen. You have to do certain things. You have to take steps every single day so that it will take us ultimately to the solutions. Now is the time to acknowledge our responsibility in having created the situation or condition. So again, it starts with one, of course, willing to change, and the next is taking our own responsibility because you are the only one who has created this. So I'm not talking about having guilt or not about being a bad person for being wherever you are. I am saying to acknowledge the power within you that transforms our every thought into experience. So, this thought is to give you power that if you have created, you only can now change it. So, in the past, we unknowingly used this power to create things we did not want to experience. We were not aware of what we are doing. Now, by acknowledging our responsibility, we became aware and learn to use this power consciously in positive ways for our benefit. Often, when I suggest solutions to people, a new way to approach a matter or forgiving person involved, I will see the jaw begin to clench and arms crossed tightly over the chest. Maybe even fists will form. Resistance is coming um, to the fore, and I know we have hit upon exactly what needs to be done. We all have lessons to learn. The things that are so difficult for us are only the lessons we have chosen for ourselves. If the things are easy for us, then they are not lessons, but are the things we already know. So, whatever is easy, that means we already know it. Whatever seems difficult, those are our lessons. So, this is something we need to really, uh, you know, think and keep it in our mind so that there will not be any kind of lower vibrations or lower energies we will be creating. So, lessons can be learned through awareness. So, if you think of the hardest thing for you to do and how much you resist it, then you are looking at your greatest lessons at the moment. Surrendering, giving up the resistance, and allowing yourself to learn what you need to learn will make the next step even easier. So basically, what we need is that surrender, trust, and of course, giving up our resistance. Don't let your resistance stop you from making the change. We can work on two levels. One, looking at the resistance, and two, still making the mental changes. Observe yourself, watch how you resist, and then go ahead anyway. So now there are very interestingly, author has given certain, list, which is like what are those ways by which you show resistance. So just think and write it down if you really have these ways, because then once you understand what is that resistance you are giving, then it's very easy to work on that. So now our actions often show our resistance. So what are those non-verbal clues? So for example, changing the subject, then leaving the room, or going to the bathroom, being late, getting sick, or procrastinating by doing something else, doing busy work, or wasting time, looking away or out of the window, flipping through the magazine, refusing to pay attention, creating or ending friendship, creating breakdowns, either cars, appliances, or plumbing, etc. So these are our certain actions that sometimes showing as, resistance or assumptions. We often assume things about others to justify our resistance. Just think whether you say this statement in your mind, it wouldn't do any good anyway. So he or she will not never be able to understand. I would have to change my whole personality. Only crazy people go to the therapist. They couldn't help me with my problem. They couldn't handle my anger. My case is different. I don't want to bother them. I will work itself out. Nobody else does it. So there are many these kind of statements or assumptions where again it is showing that yes, I am just resisting myself. So I'll just read out the beliefs and then we'll move on to the next segment and then we'll take this forward tomorrow. So what are certain beliefs? We grew up with these beliefs that become our resistance to change. So some of our limiting ideas are it's not done. It's just not right. It's not right for me to do that. That wouldn't be spiritual. Spiritual people do not get angry. Or my family never did that. It's too far to drive. It's too much to work. It's too expensive, etc. I'm not that kind of person. So these kind of certain beliefs are there where that is something you are holding on to, and this is your biggest resistance to change. So now, as I'm reading out the list, there is still few list is there that we will work on tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll read tomorrow. So just write it down. What are your commonly used resistances? So once we understand this is my resistance, then we can easily overcome it, because ultimately what we want is changing the pattern inside our mind, which will definitely help us to move forward, so that we'll not be stuck into all these limiting beliefs or all these old stuff which is holding us back. So we will be doing now visualization again based on the similar concept what we are reading, like how we can walk beyond the resistance. So start sitting in comfortable position with your spine straight and eyes closed, and start focusing on your breathing. Take a deep breath in, hold for a moment, and slowly exhale. One more time. Deep inhale. Moment and slowly exhale. Let your mind and body relax in this moment. Imagine you are standing in front of beautiful pathway. On one side is your old life, old years, old habits, old limitations. And other side is a brighter, lighter version of you. And now, in front of you stands a small bridge. And this bridge represents a change. Notice what thoughts arise, making fear, hesitation, uncertainty. That is okay. Now, imagine beside you stands a loving guide, creating warmth, wisdom, and compassion. And this guide says, do not need to fear change. Change is simply life moving you towards expansion. As you step onto the bridge, notice resistance leaving the body, releasing fear, self-doubt, the need to control everything. You're feeling lighter. And now, as you cross the bridge, you see your future self. And it says to you, you are ready. You have always been capable of change. And now you're becoming who were meant to be. And as you're absorbing this energy, you're taking it to the present moment. Now, slowly wiggle your toes and fingers, rub your palms, keep it on your eyes and face, and slowly open your eyes. And now we'll move on to the next segment.
Good morning, everyone. So, move on to the last segment of the day. And before we start writing gratitude, because today is the day to write gratitude, open up our journals, and fill up the gratitude for something which we need to be grateful for. But before we go ahead, let's just just recap the reading segment, which pointed out two, three very important things which we can highlight and keep it as the highlight of the day. One is that mirror work. It's a very powerful activity to overcome any kind of challenge which we face. Because as it was given in this mirror work example also, that whenever mostly we stand in front of the mirror and we are full of grief and sadness, so there is some kind of resistance inside that reflects on that mirror also. Because that's how you're looking at yourself in that reflection. The way the emotions are piling up, the similar way the emotions are visible in the mirror. But if I want to overcome that challenge, I can use this mirror as a tool where I can repeat things which will help me to come out of that resistance, like in the form of either affirmations or strong statements, which will guide me to see myself in a better space. It's a very powerful activity. For anything you feel that you need to bring out that strength hidden within, you can use this tool. It is going to be really effective. Another one more thing it was mentioned in the reading segment was that if something is easy, it is easy for you to survive and live. But something which is difficult, that's the challenge of your life. Because easy things you could easily handle. So that was not a challenge for you. The challenge is only in those areas of your life which you need to learn a lesson from. That's why it has come as a challenge to help you to overcome that situation in your real life and make you a better person. Now, here I would like you to draw your attention to pay gratitude on those challenges only. What you have to exactly do, just take a minute after I explain this, just take a minute to just go back or scan your past and recall all those difficult situations or challenges which you overcame. And what was the learning from those experiences? Every episode, every experience you actually faced in your past was a learning experience. First of all, did you learn something from it or not? First point is that itself. If you could not, but today you realize, yes, this was the hidden learning inside and I did not pay attention. Maybe today you realize, acknowledge it, pay gratitude that experience, because of that, you could polish yourself to be a better person. Always remember, in such experiences only, we actually are able to see ourselves in better space. Because when we overcome every time, we are improving, we are learning and a level up. That's how you move ahead. So, all your past recent episodes, if it is too far to go, just at least the recent few episodes where you had your own learnings from your challenges, pay gratitude to that. That because of that experience, because of that challenge, you were able to learn and move ahead. So now you are a bit better than the past, and it keeps on going in the same manner. So you just need to scan, be grateful, and just thank, because when you are facing that challenge, you will never look at that situation in this grateful way. You will only sit down, blame, and curse that situation, that why it has happened to me. But why that has happened has come for a reason. Today, we are thanking that reason because I have learned a lesson from there, right? So let's open up our journals, all those learning lessons of our life through our own experiences, through our own challenges, which we have already overcome. We need to pay gratitude to see the things moving ahead and to see how far we have also come. So you can either list it down or you can just point out those occasions and you feel gratitude for those. We can just be grateful for those challenging moments because that is why you are where you are today. And again, share that soft music so that you complete this task in calm and peace. Now, as we were writing our own experiences, you might have definitely come across your challenging moments and must have discovered that how you have come out of it and how you are living a better space today in that current scenario where you have learned your lesson, moved ahead, and you are out of it. This is again a kind of reflection that when you can do it once in any situation and you can overcome and learn from your experience, anything happening in the current scenario is also within your control. You can come out of it also. It only needs that courage, it only needs that strength to believe in yourself. Because once, if you can do it, you can do it again. On that note, we end today's session. We meet tomorrow again and go deeper into this concept because it is actually releasing and unwinding one step at a time to make us understand how we can only heal ourselves. We don't need external support. Our own presence and our own willingness can make it happen in the real life scenario. Thank you so much for your presence early morning. We meet tomorrow, same time, same place, same link. Have a great positive day ahead. Thank you. Bye bye.